I just hit top 40 in the world using only the Spirit Empress, and I'm going to show you exactly how. For the first part of the video, I'm going to be going over a general Spirit Empress guide, so exactly what you need to know how to play her at the highest competitive level. And the second part will be talking about why I believe you should actually play the Spirit Empress over the Loong and my experience with her. So playing the Empress this season is actually going to be a bit different from last season because everyone's playing the Loong. And at the beginning of every game, you generally just want to buy the cheapest card because if you buy the cheapest card, you can roll the shot more times, have more chances for merges if you think about it, because if you get a merge, you need 2 copies of a card. So if you just keep buying more cheap cards, then you'll have more opportunities to merge. However, the difference here is that sometimes if you get a really bad shop, then you might just want to play for HP because essentially, if you preserve HP, then you can continue going for more rounds. So let's sell that P.E.K.K.A here, get the Spear Goblin. Go for the Archer again, and I'll try to just finish off with double Goblins. In the early game, you typically want to buy every Goblin you get because you'll get a guaranteed Goblin in the next round with the Goblin trade. So that's kind of what you want to do. Just try to, if you're going to lose the game, at least just secure Goblins so that next round you'll be in a good spot. And what happens a lot now in this season, because the Elixir Loongs are... Look, I mean, in this game, all my opponents are Elixir Loongs. You're going to be losing pretty much all of your early game rounds, or maybe you might salvage one round if you buy a bit more expensive that round to preserve some HP. So let's try to just farm now. I'm just going to try to merge and sell Elixir, or sell cards here. And then we're just going to go with what we end off with pretty much. So let's go for the Executioner. If we do get the Baby Dragon, that's pretty good. I'll upgrade the Machine here. And I'll probably sell him. And I'll buy the P.E.K.K.A here. Sell, and we'll put the P.E.K.K.A in here for the Ace trade. So what you kind of want to do is you just want to farm. You'll, on your typical average case with RNG, you'll get your first like infinite cycle by probably round 3 or 4. What I mean by infinite cycle is when you could just keep merging and selling and just do that infinitely because you're generating elixir. When you merge and sell, you get +1 elixir with the Empress. So that usually happens by round 3 or 4. Let's sell these cards. And I just kind of need to go for a cycle here, so that's what I'm doing. It looks like a lot right now, but I'll explain what I'm doing in a bit here. Let's go for the P.E.K.K.A there, Musketeer as well. 3-star the P.E.K.K.A. So I'm probably going to go for the Witch variant here, I'll say. Let's go for the Valkyrie here. Upgrade the Musketeer as well, and I think we should be in a pretty good spot. I'll just throw in the 2-star Wizard there, because why not? And basically, all I'm doing is I'm just buying cheap. If I see a merge, now that we have the Elixir, I'll just click the merge just so I can get Elixir. If it's a card I need, like the Executioner or the Musketeer here, I'll keep it. If it's a card I don't need, then I'll just sell it to keep generating Elixir here. So that's literally all I'm doing. And this is built on the foundation that whenever you merge a card, you get +2 Elixir with the Spirit Empress. And if you sell it, you lose 1, so you just keep getting net gain of 1 card. Let's 3-star that Giant Skeleton here, and let's just try to go for the Witch here. I'm gonna go for... I'll tell you the exact comp I'm going for and exactly how I decided on that, so after this round. So I'm just trying to cycle for more Witches here, and I guess we could do... that's not very helpful, actually. I guess I'll just put in the Prince now. Yeah, we get some pretty good trades. Okay, so I might just go with this comp, and exactly how I decided on this comp is I basically just kept merging and selling until I got like 2 to 3 cards of a comp I know. So the comp I know is this Blaster's comp. I got the Musketeer and the Executioner, and at that point I was like, oh, well, I just conveniently got 2 of the cards of this comp, the Blaster's comp, so I'm just going to go with that. And you should try to go for the comp that you just conveniently get in most games, because if you force a comp, well, it's going to take extra effort, because let's say you're already set up for a different comp, then might as well just go for that comp because it's going to take less time to go for it. And you already have those cards. So that's exactly how I determined this comp. And it looks pretty fast what I'm doing, but literally all I'm doing is I'm just buying the cheapest unit to roll the shop for as cheap as possible. If I see a merge, I just click it. So the fancy green area, you just click it. And if it's a card I need, I keep it. If it's a card I don't need, like let's say in this case, I'll get like a, I don't know, princess. A princess merge, I'll sell it because I don't need it. To keep the elixir up, to keep that infinite cycle of elixir going. So that's literally all I'm doing there. And as you can see, eventually we'll be 3-starring our cards and getting a very powerful comp here. This guy somehow is still alive, so now what we can do in the last phase of the game is called blocking. So we're gonna block our opponents by just getting oh, actually this pain dude is still alive. Let's block his cards. He has the E-Giant here. We'll block the Mega Knight as well. So let's do that. Let's just find the Mega Knight, and we're just gonna buy it so that he can't get it, and I'll explain exactly the mechanics of that soon here, but I kind of just want to get that Mega Knight because that's going to be pretty problematic in the late game. So also the Wizard, I guess, could block. Let's go for the Mega Knight and the Wizard. Or is it the Ewas? No, it's just the regular Wizard. I don't think he's going to get it, though, so I think we'll be okay. Let's just upgrade the Witch last second here. And we should be able to take him out. So the very good thing about the Spirit Empress is, again, like I mentioned, you're going to take way more damage in the early game. But if you could survive towards the mid-game, then you pretty much win. Because, as you can see, I'm basically able to just 3-star like half my cards. So that guy just lost. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for the... He has the Executioner now, so I'll go for him. See if I could 3-star any more cards now that he actually died. So we'll try to do that. Executioner, 3-star that. Perfect. And I guess I could try going for the Witch here. Boom, perfect Witch. Try to 3-star that if we possibly can. It might not be possible, though, so... I'll check what my opponent has. I'll block the Valkyrie next time I get it. 3-star the Witch, that's very good. Honestly, we already won the game. So how the pool works is there's 4 copies of a card per pool. In the entire pool, all 4 players share all the cards. So for example, there's 4 Executioners in the pool. So if your opponent has 2 copies, then you can only get maximum 2. So that's how blocking works. You want to block your opponents in the late game. However, it doesn't matter as much this season because all the Loongs, basically, they're going to dominate early game, but you're going to dominate the late game. So just, your goal is just to try to survive into the mid to late game. But this is the tricky part about playing the Spirit Empress in this season. Let's buy the Prince here and just hide all of our cards. Because basically, you'll get impossible RNG games in, I don't know, maybe 1 in 5, 1 in 4 games. I mean, it obviously varies, but you'll get a lot of just unwinnable games here in this season. And it's not as common as people think, actually. It is somewhat common, but it's not as common as people think. And the mindset you need to have with the Spirit Empress is you have to win the games where you get average and above RNG so that you can offset those unwinnable games. And if you can do that, then you'll climb steadily. Let's go for the Musketeer. And I'm just going to keep this. I'm just going to go for the Clear Mind again. We have 4 Elixir. It's kind of risky to buy the Goblin. We'll only get 1 more shop. And we don't even know if we're going to get a 2 Elixir card in that shop. So I would say just play it safe with a Clear Mind. And what happens in a lot of these average games is, like in this game, you have to do everything in 1 round, because what happens for me is I lose the first 2 rounds kind of inevitably. You can't really do anything about it if you're going against, you know, if your opponent has 3 troops. So you have to do everything in 1 round. You have to basically go from random weak troops to getting an actual like leveled up comp in 1 round. So that's the difference between last season and this season. Only the best and fastest Empress players will really survive in this season. So that's exactly what we got to do. Let's go for the Archer here, and we just have to keep merging and selling. And I need to lock in here just so that I could actually build a solid comp right now. So you just have to keep merging and selling just like this. And what I might do is I might actually just go for Rangers. I actually think Rangers plus Assassins could be really nice here. So I'll probably do that if I can. Let's put in the Ghost in the last second here. And let's do this. So basically all I did is I literally just had to go from 0 to like 101 round. I had to go from having 3 random cards to an entire comp in a single round. That's the only way we're going to survive here, and we might actually defeat this guy here. We defeat the Loong player. You have to be so fast in this season, and a lot of these games are winnable with average RNG if you're just going at the speed of light. So that's literally what you have to do. And what I'll do now is I'll actually kind of just keep leveling up these comps. So I might even go for a maxed out Golden Knight if possible here. That would be the ideal scenario. I don't know if I really could though, but I guess I'll try to do that. Let's upgrade that P.E.K.K.A, upgrade that Ghost again. We are going to go for the Rangers here, so that's actually very good for what we have. And we actually do max out the Golden Knight, so that's very good. I'm going to hide that for now. Let's go for the Giant Skeleton. And I'm going to put him in last second here. Boom. The Assassins are going in. You see, speed is 100% the name of the game of the Empress. That's the only way to survive. If you're like a kind of slow Empress player, you can't play the Empress, or at least just try to learn how to play the Empress. So if you're a beginner player, I would probably just try playing the Loong, because he's a lot simpler to use, or you play the Empress. And I don't even know if we're guaranteed to win this game because we are on 1 HP, but that's kind of what you have to do. You have to like scramble to get the most out of what you can. Let's sell those guys, and I'll probably just go for I think I'll probably go for Juggernauts here, so that's exactly what we're going to do. I'm actually going to sell the Ghost here since we do have a little Goblin here to substitute. Let's just put in these guys for now just so I don't forget. And let's try leveling up our cards even more. I guess we can go for the Valkyrie, level up that Goblin. I'll go for the Ghost here instead, and I think I'll put in the Valk. And we should be in a pretty good spot here. I'll go Golden Knight here last second. Just try to switch. I don't know. Just try to get something out of this. We might have honestly messed up because our Golden Knight actually does go for the Dark Goblin. So that's really good. Hopefully we actually are able to get a kill on this Dark Goblin. And our Golden Knight does freaking go crazy, hopefully. Oh my god, the Golden Knight goes insane. So what I usually go for is I try to go for Blasters. If I get Blasters, I'll go Blasters. You could either go the the 2 blasters comp, or you could go for the comp I used in my previous video. That one's also really good that I've been using the most lately, I would say. Let's upgrade this P.E.K.K.A. And now you gotta keep upgrading and leveling up your comp as you go, because remember what I said, the Empress does get better as you keep, you know, leveling up and going to the later phases of the game. So maybe if I could 3-star like a Skeleton King here, that would be really good. I'm gonna try doing that. Let's sell this. And yeah, we do 3-star Skeleton King, so that's amazing. And now our comp is better. You have to just keep going for that. And this guy's gonna lose, so I'll just put in the Ghost here. And we'll try to do that just so I can keep cycling on the bench here. That's what you want to do. In a lot of cases, you just want to like cycle on the bench if you can, especially when you're against a dead guy. And just like that, our power goes up increasingly throughout the game. And as you saw, that game, I didn't even get good RNG. Like, I had basically nothing until round 3. You had to do everything in round 3 with 1 HP. And in some games, you'll actually preserve HP. If you can preserve HP, let's say you have an archer, you start off with an archer, and you have the option to buy like a Valkyrie or like a Goblin. In some cases, you actually want to buy the Valkyrie just so you can preserve your HP. So you have to make a judgment call like that. Sometimes in the beginning, you just want to preserve your HP instead. That could really help you in the long run, because if you preserve your HP for 1 extra round, then you actually survive an extra round, which gives you more time to get a cycle going. So that does help in a lot of cases. Let's see what my opponents here is running. The Giant Skeleton, I probably want to block because that could honestly end our run here. So we do 3-star the Ghost. That's amazing. The Giant Skeleton we block. I think that's the most threatening card. And just like that, I think we're in a very good spot. I think I'm actually going to double shield my Golden Knight here, because that's something I like doing personally, because the Golden Knight is basically kind of useless if you don't get a dash. But if you do get a dash, he can literally just single-handedly win you the entire game. So our Golden Knight's going to get a dash. Very satisfying, and just like that, we're going to take a win in a very typical case game. Okay, now that I've presented you with the facts that the Empress is still very good, that she can still be meta, let's go for that Archer there, the Goblin. The question you're probably having now is, should I use the Loong Den or the Empress? Because both apparently are viable, so that kind of gives me the option, like, which should I pick? And for me, the Loong is still, I guess objectively speaking, look, all my opponents are running the Loong. The Loong is probably the best ruler, objectively speaking, I would say, because with the Empress, I mean, I guess objectively, I don't know. With the Loong, I would say is slightly better objectively because, I mean, he's a lot simpler. So if you're a new player to the game, or you just want to play a simple game, I would definitely suggest using the Loong, because the Loong is a very simple ruler to use. He's free, so he's a lot more accessible to the majority of players. However, if you began the game in Season 1 or something, and you just like using the Empress, then I would actually go for the Empress, because I think the Empress is really good. And especially if you are just very experienced with the Empress, let's say you've played her a lot in the last season, you got a good finish with her, you know how to play her well, then I would definitely go with the Empress, because I genuinely think she is like very viable right now. And this is something I also wanted to talk about for a while, but first things first, we need to do everything in a 1 round again, right? Because that is how to play the Spirit Empress here. So let's do that. Kind of got to lock in a little bit. Go for the Baby Dragon. I might end up with the Baby Dragon comp. Maybe we get the P.E.K.K.A. here. That's pretty good. Goblin Machine. I'll upgrade that P.E.K.K.A. I'll put this guy in. Let's go for the Ace, and we'll put in the Dark Goblin here. So we have 4 2-star cards, so hopefully we actually can survive here. He does have 5 cards. Obviously, that is like the most difficult part of playing against Loongs, is that they just have such an advantage early on in the game. Does our Dark Goblin clutch this? I actually don't know. The Wizard and the Baby Dragon better not get damaged. We do clutch that. So that's just the hardest part about playing, but you have to go fast. That's why speed is so important nowadays. But I'm going to tell you guys this little story, okay? So I started out playing Merge Tactics from using... I actually didn't expect to get that card. That was kind of a sell on my part, but I think we could actually come back from that. And I actually don't really know what to use. I might just go for the Valkyrie, and you know what? I actually have an idea. So let's go for the GK again. And that story can wait. I kind of just need to lock in a little bit and try to sort of come back in this case. I will go for this for now. And our comp right now is honestly a little bit sus, I can't lie. I need to kind of focus up here, but basically I started playing Merge Tactics in Season 1, right? When the game was launched. I love the game. The first time I played the game, I like actually fell in love with the game. That's how fun it was. That's how enjoyable it felt to me. We're going to eliminate that guy. And I actually started out using the King, okay? So the Royale King, pretty much every player started out using that card. And you might be like, wow, retake his buns. You didn't play the Empress. And that's because in the early stage of the game, I guess everyone thought the king was better, which makes sense, I guess, because everyone just thought, oh, logically, like, the king is probably more consistent because you can get guaranteed elixir every game, whereas, you know, with the other guy, the Empress, you don't. So let's do this very quickly, and I guess I'll sub him in. Let's do this. I just want the double assassins here. The Gold Knight's gonna jump in. I've been loving assassins. I did make a video about this kind of recently. The assassins... Oh my god! What? The assassins are insane. But I started out using the king, and basically the king was meta until this one player called Linley showed up. He started playing the Empress at a high level. He was dominating the lobbies with the Spirit Empress, and that basically showed everyone that, oh yeah, no, this guy is definitely the better ruler by far. Let's sell the machine for now, and I need to sort of cycle, and that might not sound related, but hold on, let me cook with where I'm going with this. Let me upgrade that guy, and I kind of want to cycle a little bit more here, try to get maybe a Valk upgrade, perfect stuff. If we could, we are in a 1v1 right now, so let's see. I could probably go for the Skeleton King. The Skeleton King is definitely a better unit here, so I'll probably go for him if I could 3-star. Please, bro, please, Pete, I need this. Let's go, we get him. Okay, now we are probably going to win the game, but he basically made the Empress meta, and that was the same way for 2 seasons. If you guys are relatively newer to Merge Tactics, that's the sort of history of where the rulers are. The king was first meta, Linley discovered the Spirit Empress, and then he sort of made the Empress meta. Everyone started to play her. And after that, the Empress was the only viable ruler for... I mean, I would say arguably for 2 seasons. Like, even last season, the Goblin Queen was not... Like, the Goblin Queen is kind of viable, technically, but at the highest level, like, at top, like, 50, it was just only Empress, pretty much. Like, the Goblin Queen is viable maybe in, like, top 200, but at the very highest level, only the Empress was meta. So, even though the Spirit Empress was the only ruler being used, like how the Loong is the only ruler being used in this current meta, it was a fun game because the Empress was actually fun to use and she wasn't like entirely RNG like how the Elixir Loong is. So yeah, the game was not balanced, but it was still fun because the ruler in question that was broken, the Spirit Empress, of course she was broken, was actually fun to use. And that's why I played so much in the first 2 seasons of the game. And it wasn't because I felt like pressured to get a high ranking, grind for hours a week, just so that I could boast like a, I don't know, top 10 placement on my video. No. I actually played hours a day because I liked the game. I had so much fun that I just felt compelled to just play for many hours. That's how enjoyable it was. And as a byproduct, that's how I got a high ranking in a video. Because, you know, I was like, oh, well, actually, oh, wait, that's so cool. I'm top 20 because I was playing so much, I was streaming so much. So let's add this to the video and have a very good video idea. And the reason I haven't been doing that as much lately, if you've noticed, in the last 2 seasons, a lot of my videos had, oh, guys, I'm top 20 right now, or I'm top 30 right now. Pretty much like every video at like a certain time period last season. The reason that's not for this season is because I just haven't been enjoying it this season with the Elixir Loong. So about 2 weeks ago, if you guys remember, I was just playing the Elixir Loong because I believe that was the only viable ruler. So like, I gotta play this ruler, right? And I just wasn't enjoying him because he's very luck-based. He's just not really like... it's not fast-paced, just like a very slow-paced, luck-paced game. Skeleton Dragons becoming... Okay, unfortunately, the Dark Goblin wins. But it was just a very slow-paced game, pretty much only luck. I think I'll actually sell the Skeleton... Yeah, I gotta, like, kind of cycle here really quick. Let me just kind of lock in a little bit. I think I'll probably go for that one comp that I made in the video yesterday about that secret comp. That one's actually been very good to me. So, I mean, it's Master Arena, but we do have some extra HP. This is what I'm kind of talking about. We have extra HP, so even if we lose this game, we kind of find them. We actually 3-star the Pekka there. Oh my god, last second. Okay, 3-star the Pekka. We should be in a very good spot. But anyways, yeah, so I just was genuinely loving it. And this season, I just was not having fun with the Elixir Loong. Very slow, luck-based ruler. And I feel like this kind of resonates with everybody. But whenever we play games, like I feel like everyone wants to win because of themselves, right? They want to feel good about the win and feel like they earned it. But with the Elixir Loong, I mean, nobody really earns the victory, I feel like, because it's just like a very simple ruler to use. If you just keep playing, your RNG eventually sort of evens out and you're kind of able to climb a bit slightly. As long as you're sort of putting in like, as long as you kind of slightly know to play the ruler, it's a very simple ruler. But this season just I wasn't enjoying it that much, so my placements were bad. I was so behind it. In the last season, I was one of the first 10 people to grind a diamond. This season, I think I was like a few thousandth. That just kind of demonstrates that it felt like a chore to grind a diamond, but that was with the Elixir Loong. And when I found that the Empress was viable, guys, now I'm top 40, right? So I've actually been playing a lot, not because I felt pressure to play more, but because I've actually been having fun with the game, because the Empress is a fun ruler to play, and the Loong is not. The Loong is boring, and so many people have been feeling that way lately. I know, because the Discord chat, so many previous players that were so devoted in the last season have pretty much fully quit, or at least are playing like 10% of the time they did last season, because the game just wasn't as fun with the Elixir Loong meta. But now, like, the reason I'm saying this is because the Empress is now meta, and I want to sort of show people that, because they could actually get back into the game, still have fun with the you know, the ruler they love to play, because the ruler is still valid, and we're consistently, lately we've been in like the top 100 at least with the Spirit Empress. So yeah, she might not be as optimal to play as the Elixir Loong, but she's still phenomenal, and you could still climb the ranks with her. So I believe if you're kind of like me and you really love playing, you know, you love the game, but you love playing the Spirit Empress, and you don't like playing the Loong because the Loong is just very luck-based boring, then for you, I would recommend switching to the Empress, because you could actually still have fun like you did in the last season by playing the Empress, because the Empress is still alive. So I would definitely play the Empress anyways. In this case, I don't know how the hell we came back, but again, like I said, we did everything in one round. We're still 5 HP like we were in the past. We went for that secret comp that I showed in the last video, and guys, a lot of the comments are saying, hey, I found this comp in the last season. Like, yeah, this comp was publicized in the last season, but people have not been using it lately because everyone's using Rangers and Blasters. Most people have sort of pushed this to the side for the most part. And so the reason I made that video is because, yeah, like, I used this comp in the last season as well, but the comp fell off because of the Loong, and now it's back, in my opinion. I've used it so much to climb, and it's just a very uncontested comp to go for. It's still very strong, so that's why I would definitely use it. And as you can see in this case, we're actually going to lose this round somehow, but we were frying this guy. We were frying the entire lobby before, and I think we'd probably come out with the win here on top, so we're going to try to do that here. I don't think I'll cycle here because I'm facing the dead guy, but either way, just my philosophy with games is I play to have fun. I'm not going to waste hours of my life on a game that I don't love, right? I don't actually like playing, because that's just wasting your life. I want to actually play games that I love. So lately I've been playing Dispatch, I've been playing a lot of Valorant, but Merge Tactics was not at the top of my list because just playing with the Loong is not fun, as I'm sure 99% of you sort of resonate with. But now you could actually have fun with the game, with the Empress. And another reason I'm making this sort of statement is because I just saw JCE's video of he's quitting Merge Tactics because, you know, the game just didn't feel fun to him, and that's valid. Like, for me, for a while, it felt like a chore sort of to make videos. And let me just specify this by saying that, like, no matter how sort of quote-unquote stale the game feels, I will always continue making Merge Tactics content. I will do that until the game dies, or until they, by die I mean until they kill off the game. I'll keep making Merge Tactics content no matter like how low the view numbers get, no matter how, I don't know, like, stale the game feels. I still enjoy the game, you know, from the, I don't know, bottom of my heart. So I'm still gonna keep playing, but we're gonna keep going for that Executioner because this guy just died, so we can try going for his cards. Anyways, that's exactly why I'm still gonna make videos personally, but I totally get what people mean by the game is feeling more stale. So if you feel that way, to switch to the Empress. The Empress is fun to use, and she's actually a challenge, so you can actually improve as a Merge Tactics player. You can keep growing by playing the Empress as well, so it's not just a, you know, maybe slightly suboptimal rule to use. I still think she's very good. Anyways, guys, this is the final round of the game. Hopefully we do take this guy out. This is Master Arena, so I can't believe we're actually winning this game with the Spirit Empress. Master Arena is one of the worst modifiers, but let me just say, you can come back in so many games, and that is how to play the Spirit Empress to counter Loong players in this meta. We are going to end off the video with a dub.